Hello everyone, Neph here, and today I'll be showing off a mod that I've been working on for a while. This mod is called the Missing Blocks mod, and basically the point behind this mod is that it's a few blocks that I think kind of should have been in vanilla Minecraft, but in the end they weren't. I mean, as a few of you may remember, a while ago they added the dispenser block, and everyone was like, yes, we're getting more blocks like this, and then we didn't, so yeah. So yeah, basically I'm just going to take you through the blocks now and show you what they do. This one here is called the Collector. What this basically does is when you drop blocks on this, it'll collect them. It has its own inventory. And then when you power it, it'll drop them again. So I'll just show you that now. If we go over to here. The point of this is if you had, say, a farm, and you know, like, say if you have like a farm and it's all automatic and stuff, the problem is once you harvest your items, they all end up like, you know, down the end of the water stream, and there's no way to put them into a chest or store them or do anything like that. Whereas with this mod, as you can see, I have the collector here. And if I throw, say, some... Whoops. Well, if I throw a storage cart in there, you can see it'll actually get collected. So that's handy. So hang on, let me just stop that rain, because it's annoying. And so if I do this, you can see obviously the melon gets thrown down into the collector. Now this is not the best farm in the world, it's just an example to show it off. And so yeah, it all gets collected. And so then if we come over here, you can see here I have two collectors. I have one up here with nothing in it, so I'm just going to throw some wool in there. Say about 5 wool. And as I said before, when you power them, they drop stuff. So if I do this, it drops all the wool out, and it's collected in the bottom one. And as well, another handy feature of collectors is they can actually drop stuff into chests. So if I have a collector here with stuff in it, and I have a chest below it, if I power it, it sticks it in the chest. So that's handy. And of course, as well, they can also put stuff into storage minecarts. So if I have a minecart here, we'll put some stuff in that chest. Oh, there is stuff already. Stick it under there. And if I power it, and you can see it's all gone into the minecart. So I mean, obviously this would be very handy for things like farms and such, or if you have any kind of systems where you just want to store stuff in chests and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's collectors. The next block is the sorter, which is this big goldy looking one here. What the sorter actually does is it has this little grid here, and basically what you do with the sorter is if you had like a system of water channels and stuff and you wanted to like sort out your items, what you can do is you can tell it to say, I don't know, put say, you see there's 4 numbered sides, there's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and there's a big hole in the top. There's also a hole in the bottom. And so basically if I were to put, say, orange wool in slot 1, and then I throw some wool on it, you'll see it all flies out the first slot. If I put it in slot 2, it all flies out the second slot, and so on. And as you can see, you have 4 columns there with 3 slots each. So just to show you that being used, if I go over here, and of course anything that isn't in the slot drops at the bottom. So you can see the actual sorter there. I have some stuff, I think, yeah. In that collector I have a whole bunch of crap, you know, you can see there's like dirt, cobble stuff. This is the sort of thing you might have in your base if you like just come home from a day's mining and you want to throw everything in here. And so this is just a bunch of random stuff. And as you can see in the sorter, I have it set so all of the wood goes in column 2, all of the sand goes in column 3, and all of the stone, cobble and smooth stone go into column 4. I don't use column 1 because that would shoot out the front, and I don't want it to shoot out the front right now. And of course everything else falls out the bottom hole and into the lava. So yeah, that means all the gravel and everything will just get lost because I don't want that. So if I just hit this button, you can see immediately everything is sorted. So the gravel and all has gone into the lava, everything else has gone into these collectors. See, all my stone is here, and my sand isn't here, and so on. So yeah, that's very handy. And of course you could have a whole system of these where you have them going into like tons of different chests and they all have different stuff in them, so yeah. And that's that. Also, sorters, a lot of people might complain that you only have 3 slots per column, but the whole idea with sorters is, I mean, keep in mind, if you want to only sort, say, 2 different ways, you can do something like this. And so in this way, I want to say this collector to have all of the, say, all of the, what was it? I forget. Say all of the like saplings and seeds and all the kind of like organic stuff. And I want all the other stuff to go to this one, like all the raw materials. So basically, you see you have there side 1 and side 4, both go to the same place. So I put all of the organic stuff in 1 and 4, and the same for 2 and 3, because 2 and 3 will all go over here. And so if I hit this button, you can see again, they go different ways, but they all end up in the right place. So this collector has all the organic stuff, and this one has all of the raw materials. So that's sorters. Now onto the final block. This is the really fun one. And this is the one that took forever to make. This is the remover. Now the big point about the remover is one thing you cannot do in vanilla Minecraft is actually place and remove blocks without without actually doing it yourself, which is kind of annoying. The remover does all of that. So there's a lot of things you can use this for. I'm going to show you how it works right now. So if I head over here, and here's a fairly basic usage. What the remover basically does is, if I were to say place one down here and place a lever beside it, yes, you can actually place them on it if you want to. If I place a wood block and then I power it, it sucks in the wood block and spits it out as an item. So I'll just show you that again. Like that. So that's what the remover does. It basically removes blocks. But I mean, of course, you can do loads of other things. I mean, you saw there, it just dumps it as an item. If I were to get a chest and put the chest behind it and then do the same thing, you'll see it actually places it in the chest. And as well, you'll notice that when I actually unpower it, it pulls it back out of the chest and places it down again. So you can use this for a whole variety of purposes. I mean, if you just want to collect blocks, you can do that and just send them out. Or if you want to actually use them kind of to place and remove blocks, so you can make doors and stuff like that, or hidden areas and things, and all sorts of other stuff, you can do it that way. And of course, you can just use them to place blocks as well. So I can, like, I don't know, place some wool blocks in there, and just do this and it'll place them. The way it's powered might confuse some people, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite simple. And so just a few things you can actually use the remover for. Here is a very, very basic toggle switch for redstone. Under this little half step here, I have a redstone torch. And as you know, half steps don't conduct, redstone, whereas full blocks do. So with this, all I have is half block, full block in the chest. And what the remover will actually do is it'll swap them. So if I hit the lever, pulls that in, and it pushes out the other one. And see, now I have a current. So if I do it again, it swatches them again. The reason for this is because the removers, when they pull from a chest, they'll actually shuffle everything in the chest one slot to the left. So you can actually use them for like memory and stuff if you want to. A good example of this is I have one here called a counter. And basically what this does is I have a half block here. I have a whole bunch of other half blocks, and then I have one full block at the end. So that's going to count to, I don't know what, we'll say that's 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, on the 6th one, it'll then output the current. So you can actually use this to count things up if you want to. So I'll just press the button here 6 times. 1. See, it switches them each time. I mean, like, there's the sandstone one. If I look in the chest, the next one should be the cobblestone. So if I press that, there we go. And keep going. And when we get to the 6th one, it's a full block and it gives us current. So yeah, I mean, this will work as long as all the blocks are different in the chest. I mean, if I had 2 stone slabs, they would end up being, like a stack of 2 instead of like 1, and that would mess things up. So yeah, that's that. I mean, apart from that, removers have a whole lot of other purposes as well. I mean, they can actually place crops as well. So you can see here I have seeds and various saplings. If I do this, it'll actually place the crops. And if I do it again, sapling. Now, of course, the thing is, crops like seeds, you can't take it back into a remover because that's not possible normally. But the saplings you can. So if I keep hitting this, it'll actually switch between the different saplings. And as well, the remover, some blocks that you normally can't harvest, the remover actually can harvest. So things like ice, if you do that, it'll actually suck in the ice block. And the same with glass. So you can actually harvest ice or glass blocks again, plus you can use it to place them and, that sort of thing. Of course, the one block it can't actually remove is bedrock. So as you can see, that does nothing. In fact, currently it can remove obsidian. I'm thinking of changing that, because that's a bit OP, I think. But yeah, that's that. And of course, just while we're on this, some more advanced uses of that. I mean, this is like a 4-bit array, so you could this is basically a nibble of data. And I actually have this counting up to 15. So you can see I have a big sequence in here, in each of these chests. And I've just programmed it right, so basically, what this will do, if I keep hitting this block, imagine these are 4 zeros. Then I have 0001, 0010, 0011, and for those of you who don't know, this is counting in binary. So yeah, that is actually useful for some people who make computers and stuff in Minecraft. And yeah, and then I mean, like, this is a full byte array, this one, but I mean, like, I haven't bothered to program that because I'm too lazy. And so yeah, I mean, apart from that, removers have other uses as well. I mean, one big one is actually for minecarts. As I mentioned, you can actually load minecarts now with the collectors, but at the same time with the actual removers, you can actually place them as well. And not only can you place them, you can remove them, which means that you can actually empty them as well. Now, of course, this requires a fairly advanced setup. So, I mean, like, I've tried a few designs for this. One of the most comical, I think, is this one over here, which is ridiculous and completely unnecessary. But I think this one is probably one of my favorites, although not the most simple. First off, though, I'm going to show you this one here. This was kind of a first attempt. And what this basically does is this chest has minecarts in it. And then this remover will actually place the minecarts on here. So if I press this button, places a minecart. That did actually fall, you don't see it, but it did fall. I'm going to turn off that rain again because it's annoying. And turn off too many items. And so yeah, and so of course then if I send the minecart around the track, I have this rigged up so it'll automatically remove it and put it in the chest. Now of course the thing you notice here is because of the way I have this hooked up, it actually places a cart and then removes both of them together, which is kind of weird. So this design is not ideal, but it does work. However, this one here is slightly more advanced, and this works perfectly. So if I look at this one here, you'll see again I have dispense cart. That places one. But over here, the mechanism is slightly different. So here, of course, I have a detector rail. It detects when the cart comes up here. This powers the remover, which tells it, you know, like to remove it. And then, of course, it gets dropped in the collector, which puts it in the chest. And then it can be, you know, sent out from here again. And of course, in case you're wondering why this is better than a normal dispenser, like a normal minecart dispenser, instead of stacking them here and them causing lag and stuff, you can stack as many as you want. Well, as many as the chest will fit, and it won't cause any lag. And of course, keep in mind removers work with double chests. So yeah. So I'll just send that one off. And as you can see when it gets around here, I actually have it rigged up so it works quite fast, but you can see how it works there. And so yeah. Then of course we get to the silly designs. These ones are just plain silly. Basically this one here, the cart runs in here, gets eaten, and all the items get put in this chest. And this thing here is kind of a conveyor belt. The thing with removers is because of the way they work, you can technically make a vertical conveyor belt using a bunch of removers. Because they pull from one chest into the next chest into the next chest and that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of parts to this. I'm not going to explain the whole thing. I'm just going to turn it on and show you how it works. So we turn on our clock. And yes, this one is a bit noisy. And if I get a storage minecart, and I'll dump some orange wool in here, and see if it works. Yeah. So you can see it actually got eaten there. And slowly the orange wool gets put in there. So the way that works is basically the remover down there actually removes the cart. The items get put in the collector, put into a chest, and then another elevator over here actually picks them up, puts them in this chest. And then over here, the remover spits out the cart into the water flow, puts into a chest, and gets sucked up here. And in case you didn't see it, it actually then places it again here and drops on the tracks for it to go off again. So yeah, that's kind of an automatic unloading station. And now, so another use for removers is, you see we have this kind of door here. And if you've ever done this with pistons before, you know how this works. So basically we have their two pads here, wired up to some removers inside. And so all we do is walk in, and it opens and closes. And you can see I actually have a torch there that actually powers them both. So yeah, that's basically all it is. Very handy. And of course there would be chests behind them, if you can see them there, yeah. Oops. So does that. And of course one funny thing they do is you can actually place torches with removers. So you can see I actually have torches here on the removers, which yes, I know it looks a bit silly. And if I hit this switch, it's dark. So yeah, I mean, like, that's probably not very useful right now, especially with the redstone lamps coming, but I mean, like, still, you can, if you want to. And again, they're just removers with chests. And now, another use for removers, actually, that I discovered is you can use them as item detectors. So you can see here I have a water stream, and normally I couldn't detect an item if it was going through a water stream. However, with this setup I can. The thing about removers is, like pistons, they can't be powered from the front, but they can be from every other side. So if I were to say put an item on that pressure plate, it would light up this redstone here, which goes around and that powers the remover for a while. And so basically what this does, if I throw an item in here, the item actually falls on the plate. That eventually powers the remover, so the remover removes the plate. The water then flows all the way through, pushes the item down into the collector, and then eventually, like once all the repeaters are done, it places the plate again, and that stops the water flow. So yeah, this works. I'll just show you now. Water flows, and then it's placed again. So yeah, it actually works fairly well. And by the way, I do a Let's Play series using this mod and a bunch of other mods as well, like Zeppelin and stuff. So if you want to see more of this sort of thing, click the subscribe button up the top there. Makes me happy. And we'll be seeing you again. Also, if anyone wants to do any spotlight videos of this mod, please do go ahead and just, you know, like send me a link or send me the video so I can see what you did. I'll probably put the best ones up in the forum thread just to show off the mod. And as well, obviously, just make sure, you know, to put a link to like this video or to the forum thread. And so yeah, that's it for now. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them here or in the forum thread. Until next time then, good day!